Hey, I hope you're doing well today. And today I've got an exciting video for you. So I'm going to be using JARVIS from Ironman. It's going to be acting as a voice AI agent, okay, connecting directly to our n8n workflow and sending back all the data to us, okay? So let's get into it. Now I'm just going to connect directly to JARVIS on my phone because I can't actually get the recording set up properly. So we'll just do it from here. Let's go.
I'm online and connected. What can I help you with, Ken?
Yeah, JARVIS, can you get my latest emails for me, please?
Right away, Ken. Fetching your latest email is my top priority, just like keeping you out of trouble. All right, Ken. Your latest email is from AI School. Seems like Francesca Olinga joined, charging $39 a month. Anything else?
Yeah, let's also create an event for tomorrow night, 7 p.m. at Shangri-La. It's going to be for dinner.
Right away, sir. Plotting a course for dinner at Shangri-La tomorrow at 1900 hours. Consider it done, sir. I've added dinner to your calendar. Anything else I can assist you with?
Yeah, let's also get my latest tasks. I need to see all the information there.
Understood, sir. Retrieving your latest tasks now, like fetching the gauntlet for battle. All right, sir. Your latest tasks are as follows. Donald Trump voice AI agent. Status to do. Type work and web app for school community. Status to do. Type work. Anything else?
That'll be all. You can hang up now.
As you wish, sir. Tally ho. Happy I could assist. Have a great day.
All right, let's go into how I've made all this as well. So, as you can see here, and you might have seen on several other JARVIS videos that they have multiple agents and parent agents and child agents and so on and so forth. But that isn't even required, not in the slightest, and especially for conversational AI agents, because it's going to create a longer wait time, more latency, and you're going to get responses which are going to be very, very slow. So what I've done here is actually create a switch, okay? So it's connected to a webhook, which is then being passed through a Supabase. And what this is doing is actually getting custom prompts, okay? System prompts for all the tasks that are required, in our actual workflow here. So it starts off with the webhook here. Now, if we open the webhook, we can see straight away that I have the message, okay? So this is the message that's coming in from ElevenLabs, from the voice AI agent, and it's saying, get the latest emails for me. And the type is email, okay? Now, what that allows me to do is that when I put that type through the switch node here, okay, we can see that I have it set to json.body.type as the expression. And if it's matching, with the field of email, then it's going to go down email. For Airtable, it'd be Airtable, and so on and so forth, okay? But the reason why that's important, because we all are going into the one Supabase node right here. Now, the reason why this is important is because if we actually open this up, I have the json.body.type expression right in here as well. And this is going to retrieve and get the actual row, okay, in Supabase based on the type. Now, we can see the type here is email. So then it's outputting a prompt for me for the emails, okay? So now we don't have just one static system prompt that is just always the same, okay? We are actually using dynamic prompting here. And this is actually creating, several different prompts based on the task, based on what we have requested as well. And this is what makes this very, very powerful, even though it looks very simple, okay? So now when that prompt actually is then moved over, and we can see that the expression right here, we have json.prompts. If I click that, we can see the prompt right here, okay? Now, I'll just open this up. Now, this is a very, very simple prompt, to be dead honest with you, but we can see that this right here is different, okay? Now, if I was to go back and I set this as, let's just say, for example, now Airtable, and I press test step, we would actually get the system message or the system prompt for Airtable. And so if I had an Airtable request, JARVIS then would come in here, and now its prompt, okay, is related for Airtable. So this is always changing, which means we don't need to be building several agents here, okay? We can just have our singular one agent. And the reason why this is so important, I'll tell you right now, is because if we actually come over here, we go to Advanced AI, and we have another agent. Let's just say, for example, right? So I'll actually just disconnect that. Now, what's happening with a lot of setups that you see is the ElevenLabs is connecting to this agent right here, okay? This agent is then sending a query to this agent right here. This sends a response back to this agent, okay? And then it will send, a response to Webhook back to ElevenLabs. So there's too many steps here, and this is causing too much delay between the process, okay? So we're getting a response like, it could be 6 to 8 seconds after my calculations. However, with this, we strip this out. We don't need him anymore, okay? We can take him out. We go directly here, but the reason why people normally don't use this is because there's so many tasks that need to be performed that it's hard to, utilize one agent to perform all of these tasks. And that's where it becomes a problem. So how do we eliminate that problem? We use dynamic prompting, okay? So now we can get those customized system messages or system prompts, okay? And have them always dynamically changing in our JARVIS AI agent here, okay? So that way, when it's performing a task, it's always, for Airtable tasks, or it's for research, or it's for getting emails, or it's for even creating events, okay? It's always pinpoint accurate for those specific actual tasks, okay? So now that we have that out of the way as well, let's go into a little bit more detail here. So we can have a look at our ElevenLabs setup here. Now, I'll actually have this all over my school community as well, okay? So we can see the whole setup, the tables of what to make in our Supabase as well, all the information, there's a few sample system prompts that we can put in there as well. But I'll go through the Airtable, the ElevenLabs setup really quickly here. So obviously we have JARVIS, okay? That's going to be the name. The first message is the message that when you click, you call the JARVIS or call this agent or whatever it is, this is going to be the message or what it says back to you, the first thing that it says on the phone, okay? Now, in this case, it's just I'm online and connected. What can I help you with, Ken? Now, this is going to be the system prompt, okay? So this is just like anything else, just like with our AI agents, we're building out a prompt for the actual ElevenLabs agent to understand what to do, how to perform tasks, where to route things, how to do it all, okay? So that's all we're describing here. If we come back down here, this is a very important one here. So we have tools. Now we can add our own custom tools. Now clicking on JARVIS right here, we can see the name set to JARVIS. We have a description. So call this tool to access JARVIS. We have the webhook URL, okay? So this is just going to be the URL from your webhook right here. So we can see we have the test, okay? And since before I was using test events, we're going to just be using test URL. However, if you wanted to activate this workflow and you were to activate it, you would be utilizing the production URL right here, okay? So this is going to be actually actively listening 24/7 pretty much. Now, when we come down here, we also have the body parameters. So all you're going to do is just activate it, okay? So there's a little button here just to activate. We have the description, and all I'm saying here is just, place the user's request here. We have the identifier, which is just going to be the message. Now, the identifier, if we actually see that here, just to, so you can visualize what these parameters actually do and, what we can actually see and how it's utilized. So setting that body parameter, we can see that we have body, okay? We have the message, and then obviously, the message from the ElevenLabs agent. But this is what that is actually displaying back in our n8n workflow, right? So we can see the message here, and in here, it's just the user request. So it's like what I'm saying to retrieve, okay? Now below that is another one. In this case, it's going to be type. And in this case, for me, it's the type of request, which is Airtable or email. And I've got to add more search or research, I think it was. And what else was it? Calendar, okay? So we also have those in here as well. So that's just alerting, okay, use these parameters and fill it with this particular data so that when it's sent over to n8n, now we can see, oh, okay, the type is an email, right? Now that allows me to go through the switch node, okay, which then allows me to pick and fetch that specific system prompt from our Supabase database as well, okay, and then output it here, which is then utilized by the AI agent, okay? Very, very important. Coming back over here, well, I mean, that's pretty much it on that side of things, so I'll just get out of there. We come up here as well. So we have the voice. Now, obviously the voice in this case, I've chosen JARVIS here. Now, to make the voices too, I'll just come back to ElevenLabs and we can actually go to voices right here. So we'll just open that up. It's going to take forever, of course. Now we can see right here, add new voice. I'm just using a simple plan, the $5 plan with ElevenLabs at the moment. This allows you to create an instant voice clone. And if we come over to my community right here, I actually have the JARVIS sound file as well. So I found this on the internet, several sound files of JARVIS. I then put them all into one and then uploaded that, and then the results actually pretty good. Now that is all you have to do. You're just going to be uploading that right into here, and that's going to create the JARVIS actual voice for you to utilize in ElevenLabs as well. All right, so now coming back to conversational AI, we'll jump back over here. So obviously my agent is JARVIS, clicking that again. The only other real thing that I have here, I have messed around with the speed and similarity stability a little bit here and there as well. You know, I probably would just leave it at default if I was you. There's not really much, you know, I would mess around with too much. And then we just have the widget as well. Now the widget's not necessarily for n8n, but this is going to be utilized on your web app. Okay, so when you use this actual little embed code here and you use this on your web app, and it'll actually put that little, like this right here, it'll actually put that on your web app, which you obviously can then press to call JARVIS or whatever voice agent that you have set up at that time. You're just going to be editing things in here as well. Okay, so colors, and then you can put a little image URL in here as well. Change the text for the button, so you can see with my own I have connect with JARVIS, because as default it's like start a call or something like that, right? So we just change it up a bit just to really get the feel of like we're actually talking with JARVIS as well. And then we just have, disconnect text in here as well. And that's pretty much it for the ElevenLabs setup. It's a very simple setup, and we probably get it set up within 5 minutes or so, okay? Now, I do have all of those things right here. So if you do want to pause the video, take a screenshot of the settings. Those are all the settings for the actual tools and everything that we actually require in ElevenLabs there too. Okay, so we have that. Now, coming back over here, the actual prompts and the setup. Now, if we look at my Supabase and I just open up the, of course, now, if I just open up my table here, I have a prompts table. And we can see here we have the ID, which is, not anything real important, but we have the type. So this is important because if we open up the get prompt here again, okay, now the type is being sent by our ElevenLabs voice agent. Okay, so we can see that right here. That's being put into the value right here, okay, which is then obviously retrieving the information from that row. So we can see right here, I have the type, and you could have at this point, if you wanted to, this is my point, right? You could have 50 different prompts in here utilizing one agent. This is why it's so powerful. And I think people are kind of not realizing this, okay? So we can have all the types in here. We can have various different prompts in here as well, and utilize just one agent to perform several actions without having to build so many other workflows or these, messes of what you see these days, okay? So this is where it's actually getting that type, and then the prompt in here is just where we're putting in our prompt. And I mean, you could make this with Grok, with DeepSeek, with ChatGPT, Claude, whatever the hell you want. Place your prompt in there, okay? And then that will always be output here. So that can be obviously utilized with your AI agent, in this case, JARVIS, okay? Now, for our respond to Webhook, there's nothing really special going on here. I'm just going to delete that one. It's just responding with, in this case, all incoming items. So everything that's being output by a voice AI agent is going to just be respond to the webhook. And another important thing that you have to have here as well is that when you actually create your webhook here as well, you are using the respond to respond to webhook node, okay? So what that is actually saying is that once this is triggered, okay, you want to be responding back to the webhook, okay, via this right here. Because if you didn't have that, it would just basically execute and then you wouldn't get a response back, okay? And also just make sure you're using an HTTP method post as well. That's also because we're, sending data over. Now, in terms of the actual nodes, there's nothing really that special going on here, right? Yeah, we have new ideas, okay, so it's just connected to our base, which is connected to our table, what values that we want to send, which is just going to be sent, defined automatically by the model. For the type, obviously you can't actually set that, so you're just going to put in a type here, and then in your system prompt, that's where you want to actually elaborate a little bit more about the types that you have as well. So it understands, the types that he has here is a to-do and complete, okay? So in your system prompt, you want to be informing your AI agent of what different types you actually have for creating new ideas or creating new tasks or whatever the hell it is, okay? I mean, there's a billion other things that you could create. For our emails, nothing really spectacular going on here either, okay? So I've just set it as a limit to 5, simplified it, but obviously with a lot of these AI agents and everything, you of course always want to set your descriptions, okay? So we have use this tool to get emails from the inbox. We're describing to our AI agent, okay, who's using a chat model. In this case, it's just using ChatGPT 4.0, okay? And we're just describing to it, okay, if you want to get, the latest emails and I request that of you, you now know, because this has a description, that this here is used for getting emails. It's as simple as that. We just want to describe what this actual node, this tool is doing, what its purpose is, okay? And then, the AI agent understands that and goes, oh, okay, he asked for getting emails, we better use this. For getting contact information, so this here is just very simple as well. I just have a table within my Airtable, okay? So before we want to send an email, for instance, we need to get that email first. So all I'm doing here is saying, okay, before you send an email, if I say send it to Ken Kine, which is me, go and access the table first, okay? Search for that person, retrieve the email before you then go and send the email, okay? Because then we can, he actually knows, oh, I have to put this email in here based on this person's name, right? So we can actually see that over, where's my contacts? Right here, okay? So I have a few little contacts in here, and we can actually see that all there as well. Now for create events, again, nothing spectacular going on here. We just have, I mean, everything here is pretty much set to define by models, as you can see. I like to have my location. I like to have the summary, start and end date. This just, if you're telling them it's starting at 6 p.m. and goes to 8 p.m. for instance, well, yeah, you can have some times in there, all right? So that's always really, really useful as well. And again, I'm just setting this as manually. And I'm just saying, call this tool to create a calendar event, okay? So now the agent knows, oh, this is for creating a calendar event. And this one over here for getting events, in this case, call this tool to get events from the calendar. So we're just describing what the purpose of this actual node is, and this will increase the reliability of your agent calling the right bloody thing, almost, instantly. And even for the Supabase tables, right? You're just coming up here. We have the create prompts table. So you're just going to take this, you're going to copy that, you come into Supabase, we go to the SQL editor right over here, we paste that in, we press run. Done, all right? We come back over here again, and this is going to be for actually inserting the few system prompts that I have. We come back to Supabase, we paste that in, press run, boom, it's all in there, your Supabase is set up, okay? Very, very simple. And then, yeah, if you do want to go through the ElevenLabs setup and do want to, copy my system prompt exactly, yeah, obviously you can do that as well. I mean, I suggest play around with it a bit and start to design it the way you want it as well, okay? This doesn't have to be the only way to do it. You can explore, play around with it, really have fun with it as well. And then just for the tasks and ideas, Airtable files, just going to download those. You're going to come up here, you're going to press a little plus sign here. There's a CSV file, you just click that, browse files, upload it, there you go, it's all there, okay? It's very, very simple. And then we just have the research internet down here, which is just connecting to the GPT-Search tool, okay? So all we're doing here, I mean, this one's obviously already set up, but we have the endpoint URL right here, which is just going chat-completions. We have the header set, which is just going to be authorization, and then the value as bearer, space, and then that's where you would have your OpenAI API key. Okay, so you just paste it straight in there. The content type is application JSON, and just down here, all we're just saying down here is very, very simple. So the model that we want to use, okay, so in this case, I'm using GPT-4.0 Search Preview. Now, this is another important thing again. When you're thinking about, okay, if I'm using conversational AI, okay, you're thinking about speed, okay? It has to be fast and snappy. You can't have it like, oh, send an email to Ken Kai, ask him about the Facebook ads report, and it replies like 15 seconds later. It's just not realistic. Conversational AI has to be snappy, it has to be fast, and this is what people want. This is what, if you were to sell this onward to other people as well, that's what they would want, right? It has to be human-like and very, very fast. So using GPT-4o search rather than the mini version would probably be ideal, because this is going to be faster than the mini version by about half, okay, in terms of the latency. Now, the search context size, in this case, I've just set it as low. The reason why that is because if I was to get all this information, let's say like all this research this long, right, it would be way too much. I'd be sitting on the phone with the agent, and it's just going to be talking from like, the first word, like 10 different paragraphs, way too much. You'll see this thing down here where it says role user. So the user is you, it's me, okay? It's not the AI, it's what we are giving it, okay? And the content here is placeholder. So the placeholder is actually, by n8n. And what this means is what the agent fills in, okay? So it's what the placeholder is what the agent is going to put in there, okay? And then basically at that point, this here is what's going to be researched. So let's say our request was, I'll get the latest AI news. The AI agent would access this tool, and then it would replace this with latest AI news in 2025 or whatever it is, okay? And then this is where it would actually be able to search that based on the query that we give it, okay? And yeah, then you receive it and you read it or do whatever the hell you want with it. So this is all built in Lovable, okay? So I've actually been using Lovable for a long time, all right? I still am on the plan where I get a lot more benefits than probably most of the newer people who are joining Lovable like today, right? Because I've been on here for a long time. So all this is doing, okay, it's a very simple setup. So we have that actual, if we come back over here and we just get that widget right there, so we can actually just copy that. Now that little widget is exactly what you see right here, okay? So we can see that widget, we can press that button, and that's what's actually going to connect to ElevenLabs and allow us to talk to our AI agent on ElevenLabs, okay? Now in terms of the setup of this actual Lovable project here, I just have it right here. I get a little bit angry with my Lovable AI. I have to control myself a bit, especially when it's pissing me off, I tell you. But anyway, so all I've done here is just create a simple UI interface just to give it a little spice up as well. I've put in some animation, some effects, and I found the spinning circle thing here online as well. I pasted that in Lovable. I just told it, hey, this is the HTML, this is the CSS, let's put this, center it, let's put JARVIS text in the middle as well, give it a background glow. Every 10 to 20 seconds, give it a glitchy distortion animation, okay, which is what you just saw before. And then, yeah, I just have a little status online. I told it as well, have a little green dot beside it, give it a pulsating effect animation as well. And then, with that little ElevenLabs widget here, gave it that as well, told it to center the div block in the middle of the viewport, and there you go, okay? It's a very, very simple little setup. So this actual JARVIS that I've made up here through the web app is actually going to be available as well for our school community, okay? So there's going to be a little extra surprise for them if they do want to use this particular version of JARVIS. But obviously, if you want to make it at home for yourself, yeah, go onto Lovable, check it out, write some little things here, hello, talk to it. It's really easy to use, it's really quick, okay? Yeah, it does still have a little bit of a learning curve. You have to connect things, you have to, connect your Supabase and things like that, but trust me, once you get through it all, half an hour, spend some time with it, it is very, very easy. And apart from that, yeah, if you do want to get the template, if you do want to get the UI that I've built up in Lovable as well, I'm going to have everything in the school community here. So yeah, this is where you're going to have a bit more of a clearer step-by-step process of going through this actual course. And then yeah, you're going to have the JARVIS template for n8n. You're going to have that JARVIS sound file as well, so you can create and clone the voice of JARVIS. And yeah, just the Airtables and everything, so you can get it all installed. In terms of the Supabase, we have it all here ready to go as well. The setup for ElevenLabs, you're good to go. So I hope to see you there. We've nearly hit 700 members at the moment, but if I don't, I'll see you in the next one.